Welcome to the latest episode of the podcast that wouldn't die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me, as always, is Aaron.
Hey!
This week, we'll be discussing the horror film Leprechaun.
Exactly. I'm glad you self-edited there.
Oh, God. Starring Jennifer Aniston in her biggest role to date, I guess. Warwick Davis and some other randos mixed in there. So go to our page on Facebook at the podcast that wouldn't die. Go to our page on Twitter at tpodcasttwdie. Email us at the podcast that wouldn't die at Gmail. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc., etc. And Aaron, you also have a private Twitter account.
The Cult of Aaron.
The Cult of Aaron. So join the cult if you wish to.
Join the cult. God damn it.
You want if you want all of her secret thoughts and feelings on a variety of issues and topics, that's where
or just a whole bunch of retweets.
So now, Aaron, you were singing the praises of Jeopardy mere moments ago. Is that what?
Oh my God! So I was waiting for you to get your SH together so you can call me, and I watched Jeopardy as thinking people might do. And I'm going to tell you Final Jeopardy question, see if you know with it. But now, right after Jeopardy, is the most mind-numbing idiocy of all idiocies, the long-running Wheel of Misfortune. Why does it exist? Why do people watch it? Is it because they can't find the remote and they're too old to get up to turn this crap away? I just don't understand how someone who watches Jeopardy then sits and watch Wheel of Fortune or Misfortune.
I think that they appeal to different parts of your brain. Obviously, I think it's like one like
is the
old
thinking
married
part,
couples,
and one is the drooling part.
I wouldn't go as far to say all that. Sweet Lord, can you give us?
No.
Can you give us?
No, let me
I'm
back
trying
it
to
up.
move on.
I'm not done. Let me back it up.
Please.
Nobody knew the answer for Final Jeopardy, but I knew what it was immediately, and I'm going to give you the clue.
What's the category?
If you heard there was the category is British novels.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
If you heard that someone had a laboratory called the House of Pain, who might that be? What would be the name of the novel?
That would be The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yes, you and me know, but not one of these Jeopardy idiots knew. One chick put question mark. One idiot put Frankenstein, and the other idiot said Shutter Island. What is the law? When you break the law, you go to the House of Pain. Clearly, Island of Dr. Moreau, and clearly...
H.G. Wells?
Actually, I don't know who did that.
Yep, that's
H.G. Was it H.G. Wells? But what I'm saying is, it's also a movie that is never been done well. It's because you got these half animal things, so every version is hokey as hell.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's a soft spot for the old Michael York from the 70s with Burt Lancaster. But the best train wreck you will ever see on
Val
TV
Kilmer
is the Val Kilmer. With Marlon Brando mailing in his performance.
Oh, he did it. He had legal fees.
Oh, they both did. They both. Well, okay, this is neither here nor there, but Val Kilmer was supposed to play the title role originally. And then he started going through his divorce and just didn't feel up to it. So they gave him a totally different role. He said, I'll just take the other role, the sidekick. Which, if you notice, it's like in no other movie is that character particularly important. You know what I mean? Like Marlon Brando's like assistant. Anyway. There you have it. Good times. So... Sweet Jesus.
I have shouted out in my class, what is the law?
You sent him to the House of Pain?
They go to the House of Pain, and nobody, including my aide, knows what I'm talking about. In fact, tomorrow I'm sure I'm going to mutter to myself, what is the law?
That's standard. I mean, I think of every like school-related song, no dark sarcasm in the classroom. I'm like, that's all they get in my classroom.
Flinty.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, beautiful.
Okay, so Give us the 30-second synopsis of Leprechaun.
Well, actually, you think it's going to start off really well. A fine Irish couple. You don't know where the hell this is. A man comes home in some kind of limousine. He's rich as a Rockefeller. His wife thinks he's fallen and bumped his head. Oh no, he is stolen from a leprechaun. He caught a leprechaun and made him turn over the pot of gold. Little do you realize, and something they never tell you in the old leprechaun stories, is leprechauns don't like that, and they want to come back and like fillet you, apparently.
Yeah.
Not fillet you, but fillet you.
That's a whole different kettle of fish.
But so bad things happen, and the leprechaun gets locked up for 10 years in a box, held in by a four-leaf clover, which wouldn't have turned to dust in 10 years, but it's a magic four-leaf clover.
Right.
So what I don't understand is rich people buy this piece of crap house. So it must have been like in Palo Alto or something, where only a fallen down a shack would have people moving in with Louis Vuitton luggage. With like the luggage cost more than the frickin' house. That made no sense. But anyway, of course, these people managed to knock the shamrock off, and hijinks ensues.
Indeed.
Boringness and bullshit continue on for far too long than it should, and somehow the leprechaun is subdued, and Jennifer Aniston, who never looked more like our cousin Heather than she does here, saves the day. Hip hip hooray! But Warwick Davis is in it. That's all we care about.
I have to say, I mean, I saw this movie once, I swear to God, 25 years ago.
And you thought it was fantastic.
No, not at all.
And it didn't get better.
No, it's that thing where I was like, it should be kind of fun, and it's not. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what. I saw the sequel. There were literally like 8 sequels to this damn movie.
Oh my God! I thought there was just the 2.
No, there was a bunch. But the one that I enjoyed the most, which is not this one, was the sequel called Leprechaun in the Hood.
Oh my God, that sounds so
with
racist.
Ice-T is in this one.
Shut your mouth.
I'm not even joking. It's real. It's the real
deal.
I
feel uncomfortable even having this conversation. My whiteness is overwhelming me. Is it just racist? Tell me, Kevin.
It's pretty racist. It's pretty racist because like all these films that are kind of focusing with like an urban kind of setting,
right?
It's obviously written by people who live
nowhere near
Bel-Air.
Yeah.
Exactly,
and it's not the Fresh Prince.
It's not the Fresh Prince. I'm sad to say. Like I said, I saw this 25 years ago, and I had very little recollection. I remember Jennifer Aniston was in it, and I remember that Warwick Davis,
of course, a classic,
was the Leprechaun. But I had no other recollection. So when we decided to do it to celebrate Valentine's Day, to celebrate St. Patty's Day,
Valentine's Day.
This is in my household. We watch the Leprechaun every Valentine's Day. I was like, okay, I'll check it out on Amazon. I pulled it up, and it's like $3.99 rental. I'm like, oh man, that's a bummer. Then it's like $4.99 purchase.
Oh, see, that should have been your warning.
So I was like, hey, okay, I'll purchase it. I got to tell you, I want that $1 back.
Give me it back.
Give me that $1 back.
I'm going to start kicking at Warwick Davis's door.
You're telling me.
You
Sweet
son
Jesus.
of a bitch.
Awful. Awful. It is. It's boring. It's boring.
That's the problem.
It's nonsensical. It's trying to be funny. But
I will slip right into from behind the scenes. They wanted it to be a straight horror film, but Warwick Davis saw the writing on the wall and said, I got to do something. He just didn't do enough. I love Warwick Davis. If we're going to slip right into this, you know Warwick Davis. He rocketed to fame as Wicket, the main Ewok from Return of the Jedi. Maybe I don't remember that. I just remember
you don't
from
see
Willow.
his face. You don't see his face as an Ewok. He looks
because Billy Barty was too old.
Well, now here's the thing. Since we're jumping right in, the original Ewok, main Ewok, was going to be played by Kenny Baker, who also plays R2D2, which I find fascinating. How does Kenny Baker play R2D2? They just shove him in like a can?
Yes.
I mean, and then what? Is the remote control inside? I mean, I'm not sure how it works.
You think he's controlling it? No.
Well, then what is he doing? They're just shoving him in there?
I don't know.
This is okay. Anyway, he was meant to play the role of Wicket. But then he got injured, or he got sick or something.
Yeah, he's stuffed in a box for
he's stuffed in a damn cylinder.
Oh my God.
12 hours a day.
Now that you say that, what exactly? Right. Why did they even need a person there?
Who the hell? This has been an immortal mystery for me.
Poor man.
So George Lucas saw the 15-year-old Warwick Davis. He was playing one of the background Ewoks along with 100 other little people, right?
Right.
But his physicality was so interesting to George Lucas. The way he carried himself as an Ewok, he was like, this kid's got something. Immediately bumped him up to, the star of the Ewoks, essentially. Mark Hamill was so taken with him that he went and bought him all the Star Wars action figures that he didn't already possess. That's how young Warwick Davis was at this time. Basically.
Wow. Well, he's kind of old for it, don't you think, at 15?
Well, maybe he wasn't 15. He was, he might have been younger. Maybe been 13.
Maybe he was 35. Mark Hamill was trying to lure him into a van. What's happening?
So then from there, George Lucas, he was doing Willow a few years later.
Willow was the best. Isn't that that's another Val Kilmer classic?
It's a Val Kilmer classic, and George Lucas wrote Willow with Warwick Davis in mind.
Shut your mouth. It was his muse.
It was his muse. Now, what's funny about it is,
if only we had done Willow instead of Leprechaun.
I saw Willow recently. I still enjoy it. It's not, obviously, it's meant for kids, so take for it what you will, but I still enjoy it.
Well, because Lucas and who is it? Opie were
Ron Howard directed it. Yes.
Yes. So they had in such a battle. It's been 20 years where you couldn't see it, couldn't buy a copy. I think I bought a bootleg copy, but now I see it's on Amazon, but it's shipping from a different country.
It's on Disney Plus. If you get that.
Oh, you bet. I refuse.
Well, it's like $4.99. It's not that expensive.
Quit trying to get me to sign up for crap. Is it enough? I signed up for Shudder that has nothing on it.
So he was cast as Willow, and again, he was 17 when he did Willow. But of course, he's supposed to be a married man with two 10-year-old little children or whatever. The math doesn't work out. And then a few years later, he was a Leprechaun. So he was doing what he was just trying to pay the bills at this stage.
I hope he was putting some aside, but since he was doing a reality show not that long ago, I'm guessing not.
We're jumping right into this. Warwick Davis, he did.
This is the all Warwick Davis all the time.
He did. He did Leprechaun, Leprechaun 2, Leprechaun 3, Leprechaun in the Hood, Leprechaun Back to the Hood, Leprechaun in Space. He did a million of these damn things.
Leprechauns in space? Did an astronaut steal his gold?
Takes place in the future. What?
Oh my God!
There you have it. He was also in the Harry Potter movies. He was in the Harry Potter movies.
Who is he in Potter?
He was Professor Flitwick, and he also played the goblins that when they go to the Goblin Bank. He's one of the Goblin bankers.
Good
so
for him.
He's all over the place. He's the hardest working man in show business. Let me tell you.
He is.
So, anywho, let's just jump right in. Like you said, there's.
I just want to know: did he go through a bunch of messy divorces like Hervé Villachez?
No,
he wasn't naked and playing with guns and stuff.
No, he's been married to the same woman for 30 years or something crazy.
God bless. God bless you, Warwick Davis.
We love you, Warwick Davis.
We love you. Come be on our show.
Please do. So the one Irish guy comes back from Ireland, like you say. He's throwing the cash around because he caught the leprechaun.
And he's actually Irish, the actor.
Right. Well, yes. Well, I'm assuming that the wife, because his wife is like, "Oh, Daniel O'Grady, what have you done?" Because
no, I mean the actor is
yes.
really Irish, not like they're just pretending to be Irish.
Look, I'm not his biographer.
I am, so there you know.
He could be from Burbank for all I know. So there you have it. Then the crazy leprechaun appears. He is all messed up. He's dressed as a leprechaun, but his face is all chewed up and teeth are all black, and he's effed up. Okay? He's mad. He scares the woman, the wife. She falls down the stairs, breaks her neck. The angry Irish guy comes back after hiding the gold, like fends off the leprechaun with a little 4-leaf clover.
Yeah, if this old man was able to catch the leprechaun, what kind of a threat is he?
That's what I'm saying. Luckily, there's a huge empty crate in the basement.
Just so happens. He tosses little Warwick Davis into the crate, nails it shut, puts the 4-leaf clover on top of the crate so he can't escape. He's about to burn the crate to kill the leprechaun, but he suffers a stroke. Okay? Smash cut 10 years into the future. Okay? Jennifer Aniston is driving in a Jeep with her father. And she makes some comment like, "What are we doing here in New Mexico?" He's like, first of all, we're in North Dakota. North Dakota? At one point, they're in Saugus.
Well, that may be where it was filmed.
No, they're at the Saugus Diner. That's like Santa Clarita.
Okay. It takes place in South Dakota.
No, what the hell?
Or North Dakota.
Did they not even notice that what the city signs in their own film?
Doesn't matter. Do we need 2 Dakotas? By the way.
But no, we don't.
Anywho,
do we need 2 Virginias?
Do we need 2 Carolinas? We could play this game all day. Anywho, so Jennifer Aniston is like from LA. Just get me back to LA. And she pulls up, and it's hard to know. This is like their new home. It's like he bought this ramshackle haunted
in the
house
middle of nowhere with your Louis Vuitton luggage.
Right. It's very strange.
It makes no sense.
I couldn't tell if it was like summer vacation or if it's
couldn't tell if that was her father or her lover. They're about like a 7-year difference, I think.
Could be. We're not here to judge the content of their relationship, but
I just assumed they had some kind of weird power dynamic in their relationship, and then it was like,
May December. Is that what you're saying?
May December. I
more
thought
like March December. It's thank you. So again, this is the same house from earlier in the movie, but now it is literally a haunted house. Huge cobwebs, tumbleweeds. It is jacked. This place is jacked. He's like, "Oh, just needs a little spit and polish, honey." And she's like, "Hell no, we're not staying here. I'm going to get a hotel."
The place is a shite hole.
It is bad. This property is condemned. It is not habitable by any stretch of the imagination. So rightfully, she's like, "Get me the hell out of here," until she meets the dashing painters that just happen to be there. The one sleeveless, muscle shirt wearing painter.
He kind of looked like Dean from Gilmore Girls, who went on to, what was that show with the Kansas music?
With the Kansas music?
They always had that music every year. Every season was another Kansas song.
Like Dust in the Wind?
Yeah.
I
Carry
have no idea
on, my wayward son.
I'll take your word for it.
They investigated stuff. Supernatural.
No. It's not him. It's
not him, but it looks like him.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. And they're just there. She's like, hey, you made me spill my bucket of paint thinner. What are you doing? For some reason, they're just there. It's like 3 dudes.
What the hell?
Evidently, they hired these guys in advance.
And didn't know, or?
Like, they don't announce themselves. They just get to work.
So they have fake Dean. They got the dude from Pee-wee.
Right, the bully from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Big Adventure. And a little dude, a little kid who looks freakishly like the little kid from Poltergeist. I had to look it up, and it is not him.
It is not him.
But it looks like him.
Right. He's a kid that looks like kids you saw in the 80s. Basically.
He was an 80s kid.
Yes, absolutely. So, and on the side of their van,
what their relationship, the three of them is, we don't know. Because the dude from Pee-wee seems to be like George from A Mice and Men. So I was waiting for some buddy killing or something, or the kittens disappear. Or
he's Lenny.
Lenny, I'm sorry.
Lenny. George is a smart one.
Okay.
Thank you.
I read
a few books.
George.
I don't just read H.G. Wells, by the way. Anywho, no, it's Nathan, the muscle shirt wearing dude, and Alex are brothers.
And this is their funny uncle?
Ozzy is the wild card there, because they're like, this is my friend Ozzy. And you're right, he's kind of, let's just say he's a little slow.
Yeah, he's
slow.
Lenny. I did a bad thing. Don't give him a hug. He might squeeze a little too tight.
Pretty much. So they're there to paint the exterior, I guess.
And he's dressed like Punky Brewster.
He's dressed like. Well, did you see? He's absolutely dressed like Punky Brewster. Did you see what was painted on the side of their truck, their work truck?
Was it manga?
It was. It was not. The name of their painting company is just Three Guys That Paint.
Whatever.
So there you go.
It's no worse than starving students, and they're just convicts.
No.
Are moving.
Scared straight.
They haven't seen a university ever.
No, clearly not. So when Jennifer Aniston takes one look at muscle shirt wearing dude, and she's like, "Oh, hey,
Mr. McDreamy,
not so fast, big guy. What's your sign?" So the moment she sees him, she's like, "Oh, I'm cool. We can stay here now, because I don't want him to think I'm afraid of living in this ramshackle hovel."
I don't want him to think I'm like a girl or anything.
Right. He immediately starts nagging her. The moment he sees her, she's like, "I'm getting the hell out of this shithole." And he's like, "Hey, what do you mean? You can't live in this abandoned shack?
Oh,
that's too much for you?"
He's social class shaming her.
He totally
You're too good. You're too good for me, huh?
You think you're better than me? Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff. So she's like, "Okay, I'll stick around." And then, literally, over the course of this movie, I swear these painters are the worst painters you've ever seen.
It is sitcom painting, because first of all, the shutters are hanging off, and now it looks like the Donnie Marie show where they're doing some skit and they're just slapping blue and red paint on the side of a house. I'm like, whatever.
It's basically a Jackson Pollock painting on the side of this house. They're just
if only it was that good. If
Right.
only it was that good.
All it needed was like a musical montage with some yakety sax, and that's the kind of painting they're doing, where it's just and
then Benny Hill runs by.
Right. That's all you needed. Because it was like hours seemingly pass, and they've got like one of the shutters kind of painted. It's
my God.
Hope they're not paying these guys by the hour.
Oh my
God,
no.
Oh God.
It was ridiculous.
And the guys keep going into the house as well, these painters. Why are they going in there? Do I know you? Why are you just letting yourself in and wandering around my new house? But anyway, that's
exactly. Why are you clearly trying to rape my daughter? But whatever.
Well,
this is the country. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Pretty much. It's like Deliverance. Pretty much, the father goes up to the guys and goes, "Hey, you guys need any help?" And the little boy, Alex, is like, "Sorry, sir. Our insurance says that only we can handle the tools." And of course, 5 minutes later, Jennifer Aniston is out there with a paint roller. So I guess the rules are not that. It's more of a guideline than a rule. Is that what it is?
In the 80s, we really liked it when kids acted like adults.
That's basically what it is.
And that's why our schools are the way they are now.
Exactly. That's pretty much what it is. These kids, damn these kids.
Damn your eyes.
So Ozzy, the mentally challenged 50-year-old, goes downstairs and hears little voices, like a little girl.
Like a little girl.
"Help! Let me out! Let me out! I can't breathe in here." Because that's what the leprechaun can do. Like it can.
He's a trickster for sure.
He is a damn trickster. So Ozzy's like, hey, are you okay in there? And goes up to the crate and for no reason at all brushes the clover off the top of the crate.
Yeah.
This clover, 10-year-old clover, that would be like dust.
It survived. The EMTs coming in, dragging out the dead Irish wife. Investigators,
yes, exactly.
They haul it off the old crazy Irishman, but all it does is take some bad acting and a heavy hand, and away it goes.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
Quite frankly, I don't understand why the leprechaun couldn't bust out the side. It just can't touch the crazy shamrock.
Well, this is the thing. Over the course of this movie, you learn a lot of this leprechaun lore. How much of it is total BS and hokum? I have no idea. But
how much is it changes by the second? We don't know.
Changes by the film. We don't know what the story is. Evidently, the 4-leaf clovers, these lucky clovers, are like arsenic, cyanide to a leprechaun. So if they see it, they act like you're a vampire with a cross.
Yes.
Essentially. Like,
and apparently it's the only thing.
It's the only thing.
In this film.
Although later in the movie, if you throw shoes at the leprechaun, it is compelled to polish them.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that side.
You know that
legend.
one. So, like, at one point,
all elves are like the shoemakers elves.
Well, he said, "I'm a shoemaker by trade. I'm a shoemaker by trade."
So they get to work.
Pretty much. So they're like literally to help Jennifer Aniston escape later in the movie. They're throwing like galoshes, things that you couldn't possibly shine, any kind of footwear, sandals. And he's like stopping, chase them to pick them up and start polishing them, and that she's able to escape. So this is another little weakness of the leprechauns.
And he was not doing a solid polishing job. He would not be getting a tip if he was a shoemaker by trade.
Well, all he busts out is like a rag out of his pocket. There's no like polish. How about get some polish? Come on, leprechaun.
Exactly. You're missing some spots there, lad.
Half-ass stuff. Come on.
Be a good lad and take care of this.
Handle your biz, man. Anyway, so Ozzy releases the leprechaun from the crate and immediately, comes after Ozzy, chases him around. Somehow they get away, and no one believes Ozzy because Ozzy is dim-witted and he tells a lot of tales. He's always talking about he's been abducted by aliens. There's always some kind of weird nonsense. So they don't believe him.
Maybe now looking back, maybe
he was always telling the truth.
Maybe he was always, but he's Cassandra, the Greek mythology, always telling the truth, but condemned to have no one believe you.
That's exactly what it is. So Ozzy later in the movie, Ozzy and Alex are wandering the field again, not painting, wandering a field. They find an abandoned car, like a truck.
No, rainbow. They follow the rainbow to the end of the rainbow. Come on.
Okay, is that an excuse?
At least get that.
If I came home and I'm like, where the hell are those damn painters?
Hey, if we started walking and we found the end of the rainbow, I would walk away from my painting job too. You don't know. But now looking back, it seems like there'd be trouble. I also have to ask myself, why didn't the leprechaun follow the frickin' rainbow?
Well, he's been in a crate for 10 years.
Well, he out now. What is he, blinded by the sunlight? Like one of those cave bugs where he's all white and stuff?
All I know is if I come home from work and an idiot man-child is roaming the field looking at rainbows, I'm going to leave a bad...
With like an 8-year-old. It's all looking bad.
His Yelp review is going down.
I've done a bad thing, okay? George.
He's not getting a good review on Craigslist or whatever, okay?
No, now you realize that everyone's been giving him a thumbs up because he's special, and they feel bad. They don't want to lose him to lose.
Look, he can be special, but he better at least be an adequate painter if I'm going to pay him full freight. Unless you're giving me a discount. If you're giving me an imbecile discount, then fine.
My God!
Neither here nor there. So they follow the rainbow, and they come to the end of the rainbow, and there is the gold that old Mr. O'Grady hid 10 years ago. And again, if you notice there's a psychopathic, magical leprechaun who's going to murder you I think I might give him back the gold. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. I'm giving you back the gold, right?
And Alex shouldn't. I don't care if Alex is 8 or he's got one of those liver diseases and he's only 20, which was also very popular in the 80s. He was clearly the wiser of the
Is
two.
He Benjamin Button? Is that what you're suggesting?
He's like a Benjamin Button, but it's just the 80s styles of kids.
Well,
that was the style for kids.
They find like the bag of gold. And moronic Ozzy is like, oh, the way you tell if it's gold is you bite it. And if it's soft, I guess, like, you'll notice that.
Yeah.
Ozzy, while doing this, promptly swallows the gold. Like, later this proves to be an issue, but at the time you're just like, what the hell? What is this? What is this movie I'm watching?
Exactly. And is this... like in a 24-hour period? I was just wondering how long that gold coin was going to take to process.
That's a good question. Sweet Jesus. So, okay. So now Ozzy has swallowed one of the gold coins. The other guys take the gold and they're going to get it appraised because they want to know how much it's worth and all this good stuff. So the father, he disappears like 15 minutes into the movie because they hear meow meow from like an old log in the field.
Which is ridiculous. You aren't going to go armpit deep in a hollow log because you hear an effing cat. If you're concerned, you call the fire department or animal control. I don't know. But you aren't going armpit deep into a log. You deserve getting bitten by a leprechaun. You start doing that nonsense.
It is nonsense. Like, how often would you see a cat and just go, interesting, a cat, moving on? Or would you chase the random cat?
What's a cat doing here? Well, cats are freaking everywhere. Let's go and let's follow it. Let's
not a rare
at
occurrence. Let's just say that. So he dips his hand into the...
It's not a jackalope.
It's not a jackalope, not a chupacabra. He reaches in and promptly gets chomped, pulls his hand out, huge bite. So they have to stop what they're doing and take him to the hospital. You never see him again.
I bet he gets some... Good. Well, I bet we get some rabies shots with that.
Give him something. So they drop him off at the hospital. Ozzy and Alex goes to a coin collector shop, which evidently is here in Podunk, North Dakota. You know, it's like Joe's Collectibles. We look at coins.
I think it's one of these old man retired jobs.
So they throw a coin to him to look at, and he's like, this is strange. If it's just gold, it's worth $500, but it could be priceless, depending on whatever these markings mean.
Dude, I don't know, priceless.
They could be priceless.
Because you can buy, like, I go to eBay right now and get like coins with like Caligula on it. You know, they're that old.
Caligula?
But this one coin, I want one of those Caligula coins. But what I'm saying is some crazy old Irish coin. Come on.
Who's to say? I'll tell you what, Caligula's coins might be worth more than that. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm going on freaking eBay right now.
How much for the Caligula collection? That's what I want to know.
I'll Caligula all the time. We won't be reviewing
sweet
that.
Jesus. So good time. So they Nathan, the hot painter, and Jennifer Aniston, they go off and have a lovely meal together. Jennifer Aniston is wearing these crazy like Daisy Dukes with like patches. Very, very 80s, even though this movie was released in 1993. Yeah. So hard to know.
That's still
the 80s, I guess. He nags her at the beginning of the movie, and then it's like she's got to have it. She's just throwing her wares at him the entire rest of the movie. She's like, yeah, I know I was Louis Vuitton 5 minutes ago, but now I don't mind helping out painting the house with the common laborers, evidently. It's like, okay. Whatever. I mean, you know, are we paying you? I mean, are we splitting?
Are you ready?
Lay it on me.
Are you ready? Gaius Caligula.
Jesus. Here we go.
37 to 41 AD. Vespa bronze coin, 29 millimeters extra fine plus. $165.
Are they from ancient Rome?
Yes.
They're not from ancient Rome. Whatever.
Yes.
Shut your mouth.
Now, I mean, there is one for 16,000.
Okay,
also.
that might be more in our price range there. So there you have it.
I mean, I'm putting some doubt on the ones that are $4 and they're erotica, but I'm guessing these coins are not that rare.
Okay, whatever you say. They're Leprechaun's coins.
And I
they're
would
from
rather
a leprechaun. I think they're pretty damn rare. You and your damn Caligula.
Why is he minting the coins himself?
Why don't you ask him? Next leprechaun you see, damn it.
That's the next Google search. Caligula leprechaun coins.
So anyway, while Tori and Nathan are having a fine dinner at the Saugus Diner, Leprechaun Joe is ripping apart the ramshackle house, trying to find the gold coins. One point he pulls out a box of cereal called Lucky Clovers and angrily throws it on the ground. I think it was originally supposed to be Lucky Charms. We're going to talk more about this in behind the scenes, perhaps.
Now, do you think it's a concern that my Caligula coins, my Caligula brothel erotic antique coins, are coming from the Russian Federation? Do you think that would lose something in the authenticity?
Well, is it still called the Russian Federation?
It is on eBay.
That must be true. I thought it was just called Russia at this stage of the game. But anyway, moving on down the road.
Moving on down. No more Caligula.
So, oh, God. So after Alex and Ozzy leave the coin collector is basically attacked by the leprechaun, who takes a pogo stick and jumps up and down on him, murdering him.
That was clever. I hadn't seen that before.
Like, what kind of twisted mind would even come up with this plan? He knocks the guy down and then jumps on him with a pogo stick until he's brutally murdered.
Do you think that was a Warwick Davis original?
He ad-libbed that whole scene, evidently. Earlier, he...
Up until the murder?
Well, he followed them as they drive away.
No, I mean Warwick Davis.
Either way.
You said how did he ad-lib a pogo stick?
People don't know this about Warwick Davis. Avid pogo sticker.
He's a genius.
I don't even know if that's a term, but that's what he does.
That's a term.
That's how he does it.
Okay.
Earlier, he was chasing them on a tricycle around town. So these are those moments that it's supposed to be like, oh, hilarious. Look at the little leprechaun.
Hilarious.
Like, sped up on his crazy tricycle. Again, all I need is a little yakety sax. So they come back, the whole gang, Tori and Nathan and Ozzy and Alex, to the house. Again, it's midnight at this point. Painter's still hanging out for reasons we don't understand. Again, they painted for about 5 minutes. Been there 12 hours.
I kept thinking, where are Alex's parents?
Well, they don't go into that. Evidently...
Well, it's midnight and he hasn't come home and he's with his brother and weird uncle.
Maybe it's like Party of Five, where the older brother is now raising him after
Lord.
a tragic boating accident. I don't know. I don't know the system. I don't know what's going on.
A jet ski
It could be something
crisis.
along those lines. And we don't know, again, if they just picked up Ozzy from the carnival or what happened, but he's a part of the family.
Or maybe it's like Oliver, boy for sale. Boy for sale. They just picked them up because they needed someone with little hands to paint in the small
That
corners.
must be it. They come back. The house is thrashed. But, of course, the leprechaun's on the loose. So there's all the hijinks of... They must shoot the leprechaun 30 times in the course of this movie, even though it clearly does nothing. I mean, it knocks him back because he's 2 feet tall, but he just gets right up and chases you again. What the heck kind of plan is this?
How did the old man subdue him? If you just carry him around like a puppy, does that subdue him? How did the old man subdue him?
He had the 4-leaf clover.
There's clover everywhere.
It's got to be 4-leaf.
Get clover.
But that's the thing.
All you have to do is grab and roll them in the grass. Eventually, one of them will get it.
Basically, at this point, they realize, hey, Ozzy spills the beans. Oh, yeah, we found his gold. So before he murders us all, I guess I'll give him the gold. And that seems to go fine. until the Leprechaun's counting the gold.
I would have been so pissed. I would have been so pissed.
I mean, they did it before the murders. No one was killed, as far as we know, as far as they know.
But I'm like, you've known this all along. I'm all stressed out, but your greedy, simple mind is keeping this from me.
No,
and Alex ain't got no excuse.
And they don't know about the poor collectible shop owner who was murdered, and the poor the highway patrolman who was also murdered by the Leprechaun for no reason. I guess because he pulled him over. That pissed him off.
That made him angry. He was in Barbie's dream car or whatever.
Murdered the poor highway patrolman. So they give the gold to the Leprechaun. He's counting it, and he realizes, hey, one of me coins is missing. And then it's flashback. Oh, yes. Ozzy, while he was... he put the coin... Again, this thing is like a silver dollar. And he swallows it whole. So it is working its way through Ozzy's digestive tract at this stage of the game.
And yes. I'm just going to raise my hand...
Please.
And ask you this question. When the Leprechaun got out of the box, why didn't he just go look for the dude who he knew had the money? Why would he assume that these knuckleheads had the money?
Who knows why they do what they do?
He has magical powers. He found the old man the first time. Why wouldn't he have known the old man still had it?
Up to this point, we think the old man died. He's clutching his heart.
That is truth.
But we're not the Leprechaun.
We're not the Leprechaun.
They discover... They were talking about, oh, yeah, this is the old O'Grady place. Yeah, old Mr. O'Grady, he had a stroke and is now living at the old age home for the last 10 years.
Right, because we keep track of anyone who's ever lived in a town, even though I was 9 when this happened. I have a photographic memory of every old geezer who kicks off or has a stroke. I monitor the health of everyone in this town. Oh, yeah, he's at the proctologist right now.
Look, 7 people live in this damn town. So they know everything about them, their name, rank, and social security number.
Oh, apparently there's 4
at this stage
left.
of the game. So they're like, we should go talk to him. He used to always tell us stories about leprechauns because he's Irish, these racist bastards. What is the persecution of the Irish going to end? That's what I want to know. Damn them.
It's never going to end.
So they're like, oh, he's still alive and kicking. And then I immediately go like, wait a minute. So for 10 years, the guy from the beginning of the movie is still alive? And he didn't go back and get the gold? Or no? He's cool with it sitting in an old abandoned car in the field for 10 years?
And he's had a stroke and yet is not affected by it in any way.
Right.
But
so
it's still
Jennifer
in a
Aniston. Home. This is when they realize, oh, if we throw these shoes at the Leprechaun, he'll stop and polish them. They do that so Jennifer Aniston can escape. There's multiple scenes where they're trying to get into the truck, but their old truck is like broken down. They open the hood. There's the Leprechaun staring at them. And I kept thinking, you have another car. Jennifer Aniston's Jeep is 10 feet away.
Yes, why do they keep going to that stupid truck with the distributor cap that the Leprechaun is chewing on?
It made no damn
like
sense.
A rat.
So Jennifer Aniston goes off alone.
No.
To the again, she doesn't live in this town. Why is she the one driving to the? Well, I guess what was it? What's his name? Nathan got his leg in a bear trap earlier, so now he can't operate a stick.
Oh God.
They all have chunks missing. Ozzy cannot.
Why is everybody? Why are there so many
There's a lot of bears
traps
in the greater North Dakota area. That's all I can say. Yeah. Ozzy does not have a license, thank Jesus. Alex is 12 years old and she probably shouldn't be driving. And Nathan,
12,
who the hell
15,
knows? It doesn't matter.
9,
Nathan again got his foot caught in a bear trap and is incapable of even the simplest tasks. So they allow Jennifer Aniston to escape. So she finds her way miraculously to the old age home and tracks down old Mr. O'Grady's room. And of course, he's sitting there in a rocking chair with his back to her saying, oh, yes, I remember all the ways to take care of a leprechaun. But I'm not going to tell you I am the leprechaun. And it's Warwick Davis wearing a crazy wig in a wheelchair. And proceeds, again, a little more yakety sax as he chases her down the hall in a sped-up wheelchair while she's trying very hard to look like she's running fast while moving very, very slowly.
Oh, my.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. somehow she escapes and she finds old Mr. O'Grady hanging upside down in the elevator. He's alive still, hanging on by his fingernails. Oh, what do? You have to use your 4-leaf clover. It's the only way to defeat a leprechaun, lassie. So
I want to clarify that Warwick
Yes.
Davis is about 2 feet tall. So it was easier for him to drag this dude who's, I don't know,
Yep.
210, 220, down the hall, pry open the elevator door, and shove him through so he's laying on top of the elevator. That was easier than just, I don't know, throwing a rug over him and shoving him in the corner.
Just throw an old rug over him. Ask me no questions. Well, the problem... Okay, here's the thing. Leprechaun has some kind of magic powers. But
He is a
we don't see a
magical
whole
being.
lot of it. He can change his voice a little bit, right?
He could be a cat voice, or he could be a little girl voice. And
Right?
that's
He kind of waves
What
his
other magic
finger at one
powers does
point,
he
and the
have?
door closes behind Ozzy earlier in the movie. Like a little green light.
So it's like Carrie, but without the
And
menstruation.
he's got long, crazy claws on his dirty hands. But
I'm sure he has a magic
well, he weighs
power.
45 pounds soaking wet. I mean, I don't know. You think you just punt him. I mean, no offense to anybody who's shorter than I am, but you think you just kick him and just be done with it, right? But evidently that's not how it works.
An old man captured him and got
Pretty
his
much.
gold.
But they're terrified of this little goblin chasing them around. Okay, so she makes it back, evading crazy Warwick Davis. And now she's like, oh, yes, there are the clovers over by the old wishing well. And it's clear that there were no...
I know where every weird flower or piece of weed that
is
grows in this neighborhood. Why, as a matter of fact, I think I saw some dandelions growing.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah.
It's been 10 years, but I
Come
remember
on.
exactly where every damn clover is in that field. So anyway, they
Oh,
get
my
there,
God.
and I don't know if it was like a low-budget situation, but it's clear they just turned on a green light and shined it on the ground.
Yes, I did
They're like,
notice
oh,
that.
look at all these clovers. Turn on the light. Turn on the green light.
Turn on the light. The green dirt will fool
So
them
they're
every
digging through
time.
this green dirt. And they find like some shamrocks, but no 4-leaf clovers. Meanwhile, here comes the crazy leprechaun.
And Aniston has given up after about 3 seconds of trying, going.
She takes a handful of
It's so
grass
annoying.
and goes like, "This is hopeless. We should just give up."
I give up. I'd rather be dead. I'd rather be clawed by a leprechaun than look for
Why
1
can't we just
second.
kill Ozzy? I mean, she basically says that. Give him Ozzy.
God.
He's the one who ate the damn coin.
The ancient Celts
That's
did
how.
like a good
Hey, we
blood
saw Halloween
sacrifice. There
3
you
season
go.
of the witch. We know how it all works out.
And I did see American Gods.
See?
There was a
Yeah.
leprechaun in that too.
It all
Although
comes
he was
full
like
circle.
6 feet tall.
Little
There you go.
Alex
The circle of life.
Comes up with a plan with a bear trap that he's going to single-handedly take care of the leprechaun, which, not a good plan. Not a good plan.
Well, unless Weird Uncle like pooped the gold coin.
Well, there's no scene where he's like got Metamucil or some X-Lax or something. He's just, give me a minute. Damn it.
Can I have some privacy?
You think you'd do something along those lines, but no. Go in there, have a big cup of coffee or something. Come on, Ozzy. Help us out here.
I mean, it's a
We're
freaking
all going
silver
to die
dollar,
unless
man.
you pass this damn change. Anyway, Alex is about to get squished onto the other bear trap by the evil leprechaun when Ozzy fights the leprechaun, I guess. The leprechaun pulls off his belt buckle, which is like a razor-sharp Chinese throwing star, evidently, and starts slashing up poor Ozzy. Doesn't kill him, though.
See, that's when the George needs to come out, and he needs to soft and squishy. I will hug the leprechaun. I will love him and squeeze him.
That would have been a hilarious moment, to say the least. It's just a popping sound.
Alex, I done a bad thing.
He's basically Frankenstein. So about this time, as Ozzy and Alex are both about to be murdered by the poor leprechaun, Jennifer Aniston manages to. He's a poor damn.
Now he's the poor leprechaun.
She manages to find the one four-leaf clover. She gives it to Alex. Alex wraps it in, like, I don't know, a piece of gum and slingshots it into the leprechaun's mouth. A heck of a shot. He immediately starts melting and falls into the old wishing well. I hope that's not the only water that they're going to be using.
Exactly. I'm guessing the water's tainted, or it tastes like
Something.
What? Irish whiskey now.
This
like
water's
tainted.
Tainted.
Tullamore Dew is what it
Pretty
tastes
much.
like now.
So he crawls back out eventually, looking all melted and deformed, still going, I want my gold coin. And Nathan kicks him down into the well and takes...
I hope that wasn't what the
pretty much, and then pours
had.
gasoline on it and throws a match in, and it explodes like...
Well, if Rotten Leprechaun didn't taint the water, a whole bunch of gasoline.
There goes the groundwater.
Sure.
Thanks a lot. And it detonates.
Oh my God! Where's Aaron
It detonates
Brockovich?
like 12 sticks of dynamite. I mean, they had to run for cover. This thing explodes. And then the cops all arrive, and immediately cuts to like the credits, and there's the final words of like the leprechaun, "I'll never stop looking for me pot of gold," or something along those lines.
First of all, there was never a pot.
But the old Irish dude shoved it into like a leather pouch. So, me old pouch of gold. I don't know, something along those.
So he abandoned his pot, his stew pot, whatever.
It's hard to say what's going on. What? Any other thoughts and feelings as you remember this, other than the fact that it's awfully nice of the painters to stick around through all of this, well into the night, when they could have just bailed after their 5-hour snooze fest running around the fields. What do you think?
It was really a bunch of nonsense that I might have written in high school. Maybe I did write it in high school. Where are my royalties? I'm sure it made a shit can worth of money because it cost about $1 to make. So anything above $1, they made, it was pure profit. Yeah, it was nonsense. It was like it is literally like it was written.
There was a scene in this movie. No, God,
not to offend children.
This is rough stuff. I'm not going to tell you. There's a scene. It's
because it's boring. That's the problem.
It's not interesting. It's boring. It's hacky.
It's not bad enough to be funny. It's not like Plan 9 from Outer Space, where it's like an iconic bit of. It's just
it is disappointing.
It's disappointing.
There's a scene where Jennifer Aniston, I told you, was trying to hit on Nathan, the hot painter guy, and the leprechaun is underneath the car in front of her and starts rubbing her leg underneath the car.
Yeah, I don't want to think of the leprechaun in a sexual manner.
Well, her reaction was like, "Oh, Nathan, what are you doing, Nathan?
No. You and I have discussed this whole thing of something grabbing your leg, getting out of bed. The immediate reaction would have been, "It's just a freaking wild animal," not like the weird painter is massaging my leg. That would not be the first thing. It
doesn't make any sense, because are you telling me Nathan is now crawling on the ground and massaging your shin? That's what he's going to do. He just met you 5 minutes ago. I mean, look, I've been out of the game for a little while. But traditionally, that hasn't worked for me, let's just say.
I think it's the influence of the furries.
It was the most bizarre situation.
It was some LARPing going on.
Another thing I wrote about. So homie gets his leg stuck in a bear trap. And they're like trying to, "Oh, you're injured. Weren't you just at the hospital? Throw this bug in the back of the Jeep. Take him to the hospital." No, we're not doing that. Now we're going to make him stagger around on one leg the entire movie.
No, now they're Christian Scientists all of a sudden.
Well, at one point, oh God.
Just rub a little dirt into it. A little dirt, a little Windex. You'll be fine.
Walk it off. Her cell phone, right? And it runs out of battery. She's like trying to call the cops, and then, "Oh, my phone died." Plug that thing in. There's power in the house. What the? Can't you charge your phone? What is happening?
Or, maybe they're Mennonites. Are they trying to become Mennonites? What is that? Are they Amish?
It's a sad situation.
I keep trying to add
it's a damn freak
to
show.
This.
Any other thoughts and feelings before we go to behind the scenes?
Two things. A couple of times in this movie, I did think, when is this going to be over? And then I'd pause it to see how much longer it would be, and would always be surprised how much more there was.
It is lousy. Oh. It is lousy. And you know the kind of movies I like? I have a high tolerance for lousy, and this was too much for me.
I apologize to none of the comments, all your other schlock.
But it was nondescript and it was boring. And we love Warwick Davis. Yeah. I love Jennifer Aniston. Although you're right, she does look like our cousin back in 1993. Oh,
she had that thick hair. I wish I had thick hair like that.
This is way before Friends.
This was her breakout thing. This put her on the radar, which is shocking. I'm like, this is the one I thought this would have sealed your
That's
fate.
The thing. This movie is so lousy, and you're just like, and they made 8 sequels. And they're still making them. One came out like a year ago.
Because it cost them $1. So if 3 people go see it, they've already made their money back. It's the schlock. Now, what is this? Is Brad Pitt and Aniston back together again? I heard some buzz about that.
Could be.
But maybe I dreamt that. I think it's true.
True love.
Let's go to the internet. It was not. It did lead me astray with the Caligula. So let's find that out. You go ahead and start your behind.
Well, you did talk
screens.
about how the original was originally supposed to be a straightforward horror film, but when they cast Warwick Davis, who does not do an Irish accent, by the way, not much of one. He was actually the one who said we should add more comedic elements. And I would say you should have added either a lot more or 0, because this is like some kind of nether region where it's not funny enough to be a comedy and not scary enough to be a horror movie. So it's a sad situation. And earlier I told you, go ahead.
It probably would have been better. I mean, it has a linear storyline. It probably, if they had leaned heavier on the comedy,
comedy would have been funnier. Basically, if the comedy would have been funnier, that would have gone a long way for me.
Yeah, they hadn't have gone.
I mean, just laughing at poor Ozzy, that's not going to get you home. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to get the job done. Originally, like I said, Lucky Charms was supposed to be in this movie, and then when they read the script, they said, hard pass. So they had to change the cereal box in the cupboard to Lucky Clovers. And at the end of the movie, the kid's line, the final line before he shoots the clover into the leprechaun's mouth, was originally supposed to be "Your luck just ran out," and they changed it to "F you, Lucky Charm" for just that reason.
No. Just because they want to see kids swear and they think that's funny.
Let's see. Like we said, Jennifer Aniston's first film debut. George Lucas gets a special thanks credit in the credits because I guess he was under contract to work for George Lucas, and Lucas allowed him to work on this for a while. Warwick Davis originally regretted making this movie. I don't blame him, but later grew to appreciate it because it spawned, 5 sequels that he was in, effectively lengthening his career by 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Dan Quayle got a special thanks in the credits because he, I guess, intervened to get Warwick Davis's special visa sped up so he'd be able to come into the country to work on this movie. So there you go. Warwick Davis also is in a cameo in this movie as himself with his wife in the diner. If you look closely, you can see Warwick Davis just chilling there by himself. Yes. There you go. This movie was filmed in 91, but was not released until 93. What that often means is the original distributors were like, this is a piece of crap. We're not releasing this. On second thought, maybe we'll release it. So I think Jennifer Aniston was starting to get a little shine at this point. Again, this is way before Friends, but there was a little something that maybe inspired them. You know what? We're going to release this schlock. Anywho, so good times. The actor who played Nathan, the hunky painter guy, you might remember him from the hit film Summer School with Mark Harmon.
He got caught up in the Me Too movement.
Oh, did he really?
Because remember he was on that, what is it, NCIS?
Yeah.
And there was that weird goth girl in it that made no sense. She claims she quit because of him.
Oh, for real? I thought it was a different dude on the show. Because there's a dude who used to be on it who's now on that show.
No, she named Mark Harmon. That she was afraid.
She was afraid.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Anywho, this dude, his name is Ken Oland. He played the hunky stripper by night, narcoleptic student by day.
Related to Timothy Oliphant?
No, totally different name. Not even remotely related. We already said that Ozzy is played by Mark Holton. Most famously was the bully in
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Francis Buxton III or something.
He's also that sounds like Hurt Thurston Howell III and Lovey.
And Lovey. You also might remember him from Naked Gun. He's the guy who jumps up at the Angels game.
I want you to ask yourself this question. Would I remember him from the Naked Gun?
If you have any taste, perhaps.
Wrong. I didn't. That all that is nonsense.
He famously, well, maybe our audiences have at least a passing acquaintance to it. He jumps up and shouts out, "It's Enrico Palazzo."
I don't know who that is.
Doesn't matter.
Who is Enrico Palazzo? I know a palazzo is Italian for like a house.
Good times.
Who's Enrico Palazzo?
It doesn't. It would mean nothing to. He's the guy who sings the national anthem in Naked Gun. It's a fictional character. Yes.
Oh.
Thank you. Maybe you saw it. You knew what the hell I was saying. What I'm talking about.
No, it wouldn't.
Damn it.
I ain't gonna watch it.
You're gonna be shocked to know that the budget for this film just under $1 million.
Oh my God! The Doherty family could have knocked this out for so much less.
I can't disagree.
We get some cameras and some lights off the Amazon, direct from China. Give us $100,000 and we're living large. We'll knock this bad boy out. Solid.
There you have it. Good times had by all. Any last thoughts and feelings before we get on with our lives?
I have a thought that I wanted to share with you. It has nothing to do with this movie.
Please.
I read. Are you familiar with Star Trek?
I would say I'm vaguely familiar with it.
Do you know how they have that transporter?
Yep.
Okay, so I read this very disturbing. There's all kinds of theories about what really happens when you are transported. And
in this fictional universe?
In this fictional universe, because really I long to have a transporter in my house.
I see.
But not after what I read today. So there's one theory that this thing, it scans you and it takes you apart atom by atom, right?
Yeah.
So the theory is, it's not that they're actually transporting you, is that you are actually being duplicated. That really it's a death machine.
Well, did you ever see The Prestige?
Yes.
That's what that movie, spoiler alert, that's what that movie is, basically.
Yes.
In The Prestige.
And Hugh Jackman's jealousy is so much that he is willing to do whatever. Right.
Because it's basically like, is it a teleporting machine or is it a duplicating machine? Because a body, when you step through, a body drops down into the water and drowns every time. And it's the ultimate leap of faith because you don't know, is that my duplicate's body that's dropping? Or is it my body that's dropping?
Exactly. And that's the theory. Does it matter? Of course it matters.
Of course it matters. If it's
the
you, then it's you.
You're murdering yourself. Yourself drowns. But in the Star Trek universe, you simply cease to be. And then your duplicate appears on the other side.
Well, it's like those movies about cloning. If you clone yourself and then you die, newsflash, you're dead.
You're dead.
It's great for your friends and family. They still have someone just like you running around, but you're gone.
You're dead.
You're
there's
in the
somebody
ground.
else running around with your
Yes.
memories.
Invasion of the Body Snatcher.
So
That's
think
what
about
this is.
So now,
this is not
every
here nor
time
there.
you see Star Trek, it's a death machine.
Yep. It's a death/duplicating machine. That's right.
Yeah.
Could be.
Because, theorize, because there's one, this is Next Generation, where Riker goes back to this planet where you could only transport during certain times because the weather interferes with it. And he goes back, and there's another Riker there. So when they were beaming him back, one of the copies stayed behind. That's where they get this theory from. But now I thought that was so disturbing. I was like, oh my God. How many times is Captain Picard in his ancient... I don't even know how old Patrick
Are you kidding
Stewart
me?
is.
Picard
He's
never went
700 years old.
anywhere. Picard stayed on the ship.
That's what
he
the
said.
era's
Number
doing
one.
now. Now I'm not getting transported. I'm not getting into the fly machine. I'm not getting Star Trek transported. No, you're going to have to come and set a ship, and I'm going to ride home old school style. I'm not getting into the fancy killing machine.
No, Kirk was going down to the planet in case there was some hot alien chick that he could hook up with.
He was so
Picard's
out of control.
like, I'm too old for this. Number one, you get on the transporter. I'm chilling here in my recliner.
Get out there, Riker.
I'm in my easy chair. You handle this.
Uh-huh.
Let me know how it all turns out.
Exactly.
Anyway, thank you very much. Go to our page on Facebook at The Podcast That Wouldn't Die. Go to our page on Twitter at TPodcast, email us at thepodcastthatwouldn'tdie@gmail. Make sure you subscribe to both things because I post different things on different sites. Don't forget to go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc., and like, share, subscribe, rate 5 stars only. And Aaron,
tell 5 freaking friends, or the Leprechaun will come and tell you about this piece of crap movie.
Yep, pretty much. So thank you very much, and be well.
Later.